And very briefly, my question relates to the status of the new West Regional Enterprise Plan. I followed it up assiduously, so please, Minister, tell me where that's at. Is it in your office, in the Department's office, and when is it going to be published?
Thank you, Ceistreanna. The Regional Enterprise Development and Sustainable Local Job Creation continues to be a key policy priority of mine and indeed of this Government. Throughout 2021, my department has overseen the development of 9 new regional enterprise plans which will lead up to 2022, including for the West, which covers the counties of Galway, Mayo and Roscommon. These plans are developed by regional stakeholders who are keenly aware of the growth opportunities and vulnerabilities in their region. The West Regional Steering Committee continues to be chaired by Evelyn O'Toole, founder and CEO of Complete Laboratory Solutions. Steering Committee members included Enterprise Ireland, the local enterprise offices, the regional assemblies, local authorities, higher education bodies, the Western Development Commission and others, all of whom are focused on creating and sustaining employment opportunities in this region. And I was pleased to lead out on the West from the Department's perspective. Following a review of the outgoing regional plans to 2020 and consideration of future thematic areas of focus, the Steering Committee and stakeholders in the West region participated in a virtual consultation event to contribute to the focus and the development of the new plan. The new Regional Enterprise Plan for the West is a result of the work of these stakeholders and their in-depth engagement across the region. The plan will contain a set of objectives and related actions to be delivered by the end of 2024. These objectives are complementary to and support existing government and agency initiative. The Regional Enterprise Plans to 2024 are currently being finalised by Department, and it is intended that the West Regional Enterprise Plan will be launched in March of this year. Department has approved over 126 million in funding nationally since 2017. To date, the West region has secured almost 19 million of that funding, and we're currently finalising a new significant source of funding to drive the implementation of the 9 new regional plans. And I expect the Taoiseach, together with Minister English and I, will announce the details of this regional funding very shortly.
I think you could save an awful lot of time if I thank you, and thank you for the background, and it's very helpful, and I've learned a lot from all of the questions and answers that I've tabled. But the question was the status of the plan and when it will be published. So do I take it from that the plan is currently with your department, it's finished with the steering group, they've produced a completed plan, you're looking at that in your department, and it's going to be published in March. Is that the answer to my question?
The draft plan is completed. We've worked with the stakeholders, and I took the opportunity to acknowledge the good work that the stakeholders have done over the last 6 months in bringing the plan, and we will launch it in March, and no doubt you'll be invited to the launch.
I don't know what's happened to the clock.
No, yeah, it's a minute in this section anyway.
Okay, so, thanks very much. Yeah. Thank you. So it will be published in March. It is before your department. Will you be making changes to it? Have you identified the new way forward, the transformative actions needed as a result of climate change, biodiversity change and the pandemic? This will be a completely different plan, I presume, if we're going to make language mean something. And I've pointed out to your colleague on previous occasions that it's beyond my capacity to understand how the indigenous industry of wool was never looked at by the department. I know there's a feasibility study now, but it seems to me it was a crucial part that we should have looked at ages ago. Equally, seaweed. Now, the plan, we've had no plan since 2020, so there can be no further delay in relation to the publication of the plan. And in my last couple of seconds, could you clarify, please, in relation to the sources of funding that you're now going to look at? And just to re-echo what Deputy Smith said, local authorities, Galway, only last week or the week before, hadn't enough staff nor resources to run a basic sweeping service on the streets or a bulky collection service, because they seem to be pulled in every direction with developers' plans with no overall plan for the common good. It's something I'd like to return to, and I'm all for enterprise.
Minister.
Thank you. Well, just, I suppose, to bring you back to what I said at the beginning, these plans are bottom-up plans. They're plans that are derived by the key stakeholders in each region themselves, the people who knows the opportunities, the people who knows the threats, that are in their respective communities, and it is chaired, the Ireland West Plan, by a very good entrepreneur who has created a very successful company, who has created job opportunities in the West, and who is working collaboratively with the key stakeholders in the West to devise a plan that's unique to the West of Ireland. So that's how the plans originated. They will be published in March, as I said, and by the time we are launching the plans, we will be launching the funding streams that will be available to each region to avail of. Under the last plans, there was a funding stream, I said, of 126 million. We anticipate that funding stream will be even higher than that this year, to take account and to ensure that the aspirations of each plan, who are unique to the specific region, will be able to be realised and implemented.
Thank you, Minister.